back for another video. I'd like to welcome you back to Survival Preparedness for Beginners. And before we get going here, I'd like for you, if you would, please click that little like button, click that share button, hit subscribe, click the little bell. This way you get notified every time I do a video. My videos are going to start coming out on Sundays. I will do a video every week, and it will be released on Sundays. Unfortunately, I do got to work. So let's get going here. We got a lot to talk about. In this day and age, there's so much stuff that goes on with your disaster preparedness, more than just your food and everything else. You need to have certain things in your house to make sure that you are prepared if, say, the power goes out or you got to travel or anything else. We're going to start off with some flashlights. Now, some of these, like this one right here, this is just your basic Rayovac flashlight from Walmart. You know, I picked this up with the battery. You know, I think they're like 10 bucks, but they're great. I have a few of these. I have one in the house. I keep one in my car for traveling. They're great little flashlights. And for the price, you can't go bad. You know, you can spend a lot of money on them, but those work really well. These little flashlights here, you'll have to pardon me because as I get older, I gotta put glasses on. This one is from Defiant. It's very inexpensive. It's a nice little LED flashlight. I do believe that, and this one here runs in the neighborhood of maybe 15-20 bucks. But it's nice and compact. I do keep these in my backpack for work. All my other backpacks are just great little flashlights that you can just grab and go. Now around the house and stuff, you know, if you're, or you could take these camping. Actually, we did a few back in October. I went on a camping trip and we had these camping. But these little things here, these are from E-Tech City. Now these are little lanterns, and they run on AA batteries, and they actually run for quite a long time. And the cool thing is I don't know if you guys can see this, but you have these little like carrying, so you can carry it. Also good if you can clip it up. But when you pull the light up, as you can see, they're all LEDs. They put off quite a bit of light. And the nice thing is you can slide it right down and get just a little bit of light. If you had inside of a tent or something, you could hang this. You could also, I had it in my hammock, hanging from the top for my ridge line. Work great. They're great for around the house in emergency situations. The battery, they last for a long time. I was camping for 7 days and only changed the batteries once, and we used them every single night. These are great. You get these. They come in a nice 4-pack from Amazon. And I think I paid, less than 30 bucks. And they're just great overall lights. Very sturdy. It's a very hard plastic. If you do drop it, you know, it takes a pretty good blow. Now if you threw it up against something or something like that, it probably wouldn't last too long. My mother-in-law picked up some of these, and I'm not exactly sure where she got them. She saw them, and you know, she picked them up because where I live, we get hurricanes. So, but they're cool little lights. They also have a little thing. They're not made that sturdy, but in a pinch, you know what? If you don't have power, these little things will come in handy. You know, like if you had kids or something, you know, put one in each kid's room. You know, they're not too overly bright, but they still would have a little bit of light. One of my favorites is my trusty old mag light. Now, a lot of people don't like carrying these things around. I've had this one for probably 15 years, if not longer. It's beat up pretty good, but it still works. And it can be used for self-defense, which is the good thing about a mag light. And you can get these in all different sizes. This one here is a 2-cell no, actually 3-cell, excuse me. This is a 3-cell. I've seen them 4 and 5-cell, and you know, they get pretty long. It's like carrying a nightstick. One of the biggest things that I did invest in, and that I would really recommend that everybody do, is I got hooked on my last trip. Headlamp. Headlamp, headlamp, headlamp. I love them. All right, this one here is a sun gobbler, and they are just phenomenal. You can put them on if you have a hat, it doesn't matter. You know, you can just stick it right up. You know, you can mount it up here. You know, if you're not wearing a hat, they fit on just perfect. And this one, I mean, if it's very bright, you can adjust the light out in. So if you're working, you know, it tilts the whole 9 yards. You have a zoom. It has the SOS built into it. This is just an incredible piece that I think everybody should have, because this last camping trip, I've always just been like, you know, it's a headlamp. You know, I never really got into them. I always had flashlights, carrying flashlights and everything else. But this last trip that I went on, you know, and it was for 7 days, and I really got hooked on that. I could work with both my hands. It was just incredible. You could do anything you needed to do. You could see it. You didn't have to worry about the headlamp or carrying a flashlight. You know, you see people, you're always trying to do this with your flashlight and you're trying to work. You know, these are the way to go. And I got this one off Amazon, less than 30 bucks. And it was just the best money I've ever spent. And I would definitely recommend people getting out. And not to mention, you know, you can charge them. You know, they're rechargeable. You hook them right up to something. You know, you get both adapters that come with it. You have one that you can put right into the wall, and you have one that you can plug into, say, our next object is your battery backups. Now, I have these 2 battery backups. This one here, you have to charge by hooking it to either your solar panel, your electrical outlet, or whatever. This one has a solar panel built right in. This actually works pretty well. I have to say, I'm not really too disappointed with it. The only problem with this is it needs to be right in the sun, is what I found. And when it gets just about full, I don't know if it's like 90%, 95%, it just seems like that last 5% it just doesn't do. But you still get a nice charge out of this. You can recharge your cell phones. I used it while we were camping to recharge my headlamp and my cell phone. So it worked really well. The same with this. This is just a 1 charge deal. So, you know, this is only good for, you know, like if your cell phone goes dead and you hook your cell phone into this, well, this will charge it, but that's it. You have to recharge that. Then you come over. I picked this up about 4 or 5 months ago, and this cost me about 50 bucks, and this is RV Power. It's a 3-port outdoor charger. Comes with your carabiner, so you can hook this up on a tree, and it's, as you can see, it's solar panel. This works really well. I just took we actually had a clearing where we were camping, and I just took a camping chair up there, and I grabbed me a rock and angled my chair back so it was like this, and then you have your ports. All your wires come out, and they're all USB, and you just plug in whatever it is that you're looking to charge. And I just left it there. We went back up and come back in a few hours, and it charged whatever we hooked up to it. So this was charging at one point. This was charging my cell phone, my headlamp, and my battery backup. Now this one here it's only a 20, I believe it's a 28 watt. It does take quite a while to do. I'm definitely looking into getting a 100 watt, because those were definitely work a lot better and charge a lot faster. Now when you go and you're looking at your batteries for all your different things and everything else, you know, you can get an extra pair of rechargeable batteries. You can do, I guess if you had a way you want to do rechargeable batteries instead of regular batteries, you could do that in all these things except for probably your 9-volt, because it's so big. But I use regular batteries, and then on your regular batteries, if you're gonna get regular batteries, you know, everybody's got a drawers full of batteries. We got battery, you know, at one point we had batteries scattered all over the house. You never could find the batteries. You know, you look out in the garage, you'd be looking in a box here and a drawer here and everything else. And it got really annoying, because then you found you were buying batteries when you still had batteries, you just didn't know where they were. So I picked up this lovely little carrying case. Comes with a nice handle, very well constructed. It's almost a hard top. It's a hard case. But as you can see, you take and you can load all your batteries in them. Now I see I have my AAAs, my 9-volt, I have my AA's, D's, C's, I have my small little batteries for tea lights, and then I also have rechargeable AAA batteries in here also. And this kit comes with a nice little tester that actually works pretty good, that you can test your batteries and make sure that they're not bad. And this little kit here, that set me back like 10 bucks. Best 10 bucks I ever spent. Got tired of chasing batteries all around the house. Now the one thing that I do, I have several of these little cases here. Now in here, you can see I do have my my wires. And what I carry in here is I like to put my battery backups in here. And the reason I like to do that is I like to make sure that they're going to stay nice and dry, and I don't have to worry about them getting wet, per se. I would also, you can get these, you can put your cell phones in here. You can put a lot of things in here, and it is really nice. It's a nice little, and there you go, it's waterproof. You know, I mean, so if you wanted, you know, a good thing to do is, you know, you put your cell phone in here too, say if you're going camping, or if you had an emergency, and say you've got to leave, or whatever else, and you need to put your cell phone in something, say you're in a flood, whatever, you know, you can put your cell phone right in with your battery backup, and you're good to go. It ain't gonna get wet. And it comes with this real hard tie right here that you can clip on. I'd use a carabiner or something, and you clip it right on your waist if you had to, if you had to get out of someplace really quick. Something else that, you know, everybody down here, you know, everybody talks about, you know, with the hurricanes and all that, you know, having what you should have, you know, you definitely always want, get you a good radio that runs on a battery, you know. Yeah, you can plug it into the wall, runs on, this one runs on D batteries. I think it takes 6 D batteries, but it'll last probably, if you just listen to the radio, and you're not using a CD player or anything, but just the radio, it's probably gonna last you a week or two, you know. If you start playing a CD player, obviously it's gonna use more power. But they're great to have. They're great to have in any situation, especially if you got any type of a power outage or anything else. You know, we're coming into winter time now, so I'm coming out of my hurricane season, and everybody else is going into their winter. Whereas, you know, they can get your ice storms, blizzards, and everything else. You lose power. You don't know how long you're going to lose power. It's no different than down here, and we don't know how long we're going to lose power if we get a hurricane. Could be out for an hour, could be out for 7 days. You just don't know. And, you know, you need some way of knowing what's going on, because they're still going to push out all their radio signals. So if you have a battery backup with your radio, you're good to go. Another good little radio to have are these that you just crank up. And then it comes with a little flashlight, and I didn't crank it that much, so it's not that bright. But it does have a little radio. You know, we're not talking disco here. You know, I mean, it's a little dinky transistor radio. But the point of it is you don't have to worry about charging this. You don't have to worry about having battery backup, solar. You don't have to have anything. You crank it up, you listen to it, you get your information that you need and the emergency that you're in. These little things, I mean, you can pick them up. I've seen them everywhere, every kind of store, Walmart, Target, Amazon, anywhere. You can pick these up from anywhere from $10 up. You know, they have some really nice ones. I did have at one point, and it did get broke, but I had a really nice one that you could pick in the NOAA weather radio and, you know, those kind of stations and everything else. But that one did get broke over the years. That was quite a long time ago. Sticking with the radios, I picked me up one of these. This is the Bofang. This is it's a transceiver. And, you know, I mean, this is for like ham radio users and that type of thing. Yes, you do have to have a license to talk on this, unless then it's emergency. If it is emergency, you can find your station, which I have a couple that are programmed into this, and you are allowed by law to talk only in an emergency. So if something drastic happened and you didn't have a cell phone or any other way of communication, and you had this, you could at least communicate to someone out there what has happened, where you are, and then what kind of help you need. But that's only in an emergency, because they are strict on the ham radio licensing. But the good thing that I like about this is I keep this always tuned to my NOAA weather radio.
Low tide Sunday at 5:12 p.m. High tide Sunday at 11:20 p.m.
And this is great because you get your weather and any type of warnings, conditions, anything right in the palm of your hand. I would like to exchange, this is the original antenna. I would like to exchange this antenna. They do make one that's a little bit bigger, that pulls in a little bit more. And I think those run about $15 for the new, bigger antenna. I paid $30, $38 I think it was for the radio, but that came with, you know, a carrying case. It came with, you know, it has a thing for your backpack that hooks right onto your straps. It came with, you get the earpieces. Oh, it came with a lot of stuff. It came with also a belt loop. You can hook it right on your belt. It was a great little deal, you know, and for the price, you can't go wrong. You have communication, you know, if you really needed an emergency. The only downside to this is you can only talk if it's an emergency, unless you have a ham radio license, and then, well, by all means, you can talk all you want. I've had these are made by Motorola, two-way radios. I picked these up probably, I want to say 15 years ago, and they have a 10-mile radius on them, and they actually work pretty good. Now let me tell you why I suggest you get something like this. Now nowadays there's probably all kinds of different ones that are out there and everything else. You can still pick these up on like eBay and SDs and different other sites. I don't even know if Amazon still sells this type of model, but the good thing with this is, the reason I keep these around is if we have to leave, we have to take both vehicles. I don't want to keep using my cell phone to try to communicate with the car behind me. So with that, you put one in one car, one in the other car, and I have constant communication. Even if you get a little bit separated, this is good for up to 10 miles. So if you're traveling and you have to travel in an emergency situation and you're not taking, say, your main basic road, and you're just, you're off on a side road trying to get away from as much traffic as you can so you can get out of where you need to be. These work really well. If something happens, somebody gets stuck behind somebody or something like that, you still can communicate. And like I said, and these do work up to 10 miles. When I bought these, they said 10 miles, and I tried it out, and I tell you, 10 miles was pretty close. I was not disappointed with those. And I think 15 years ago, I think I paid like $40 for these. Comes with the charger. They did have cases. I don't have the cases anymore, but they work great. All right, now we're going to talk about some tea lights. Now, a lot of, especially down here with hurricanes, they all tell you when you're talking with hurricanes and stuff, they don't like you to use any type of candles, real candles. They'd rather you use the battery tea lights. But in my experience, these little tea lights, as you can see, these are from Walmart. You can pick these up. There's 50, and I think like $1 or $2. Now the good thing with having the tea lights is, yes, they do put out a little light, and yes, you do have to use a little common sense when you're using these things so you don't burn down your house. But in a pinch, these little tea lights, if you get creative enough, you can cook with them. Now they do have, I saw on Amazon, they do have a oven that they have out there, and it has these 2 trays that you have, and you put tea lights in them. They're made strictly for tea lights, and I think there's like 8 to a side, and you slide them in, and then it's kind of enclosed like a little oven, but you can put a pot, or you can put, like if you want to make a loaf of bread or cake or something, you can slide that in there and you close it, and the heat from these tea lights will cook whatever you put inside there. It's pretty cool. So I would always have tea lights available. Now I do have candles and everything else. I have hurricane lanterns in my house. I would just have to stress, I don't have kids in the house, so that maybe that could be a factor in what you are doing. Also, if you're using your candles and your hurricane lanterns and everything else, you want to make sure that you keep them away from anything that's flammable. That's the biggest thing. There's just a lot of common sense involved. These little battery tea lights, they do put off quite a bit of light. We have a lot of these throughout the house. They're great. You just have to make sure you have some batteries for them, because believe it or not, they don't really last too long. If you left them on all the time, they probably wouldn't even last a week. But these ones come on a 6-hour timer. So we have them set to come on in the late afternoon, early evening, and we have them throughout the house for, show, I guess you could say. And they all come on, and, they turn off in 6 hours. But if you needed to run them longer than that, they're not going to really last that long. You can tell when they start to go, because all of a sudden they're real dim. Matches. Now you can pick these matches up. There's 300. These are just your regular strike matches. You can get these at Walmart for $1 something. I have several of these. I've got 2 out here. Now they also have waterproof matches. I keep all these in my backpacks and everything else. They're really good. If they get wet, they still light. I would suggest that people have some of these. When I bought these things years ago, there's still a price tag on this thing. Oh, look at that. I paid 40 cents. That tells you how long I probably had these things. Bic lighters. Can't say enough about them. You got to have Bic lighters. Doesn't matter if you smoke, if you don't smoke, or anything else. You need to have Bic lighters, because when I lived up north, and it could be so cold outside, 20, 30 below, and if you needed this thing to light, all you had to do is just hold it in your hand like this for like 10 seconds or whatever, and then give her a kick. And she lights right up. They just never fail you. Now, if they get wet in there, you're screwed. But if you keep it dry, keep it in, something dry, you're good to go. These bad boys are a little new addition for me. They're called Yuko, and they're stormproof matches. Now, this little kit, this is a solid, hard plastic. You got a striker on the side, and you open this up. And the cool thing with this is they give you, to start with, your little cotton, like little tinder, so you can get a little fire going. All the matches are, I don't know if you can see that, but they're really thick and they burn. I lit one just to see what they were like, and they burn really well. You do get replacements on the side here, little for your striking pads in case something happens with those, which I thought was pretty cool. But I got this at Walmart at the end of season, because for some reason, they just think that nobody does anything anymore. I got that on a clearance rack for $2. It was regular like $7, I think. $2. That's the biggest thing. Right now, we're coming into Christmas. It's November. We're coming into Christmas. And, people start not thinking about being prepared and survival and, the things you need for either hurricanes, storms of any kind. But right now, if you really think about it, everything is on sale. Every retailer out there is running sales on a lot of all these products because it is Christmas time. So I would suggest that if you're in the market and you're looking to start to build up your supply, and if you have the funds to do it now, look into it. You might get some really good deals on some of these products that you're not going to get the rest of the year, especially like your solar panels, your battery backups, your headlamps. I know what I paid for this, and I already saw on Amazon that it is on sale for $5 less than what I just paid. Because that's why I'm thinking about grabbing another one. These little lanterns and stuff, they're great. If you think about it, it makes a great little Christmas gift too, Obviously, your tea light candles and stuff, those things are always dirt cheap. Matches are dirt cheap. A 4-pack of big lighters, they'll probably run you $5-6. But if you pick up a 4-pack, and if you don't smoke and anything else, you can put one in your backpack, put one in a room, put one in your car, whatever, your waterproof matches, same thing, Electronics, well, you're coming into the biggest time to buy any type of electronics. So I would highly suggest for everybody out there to really take a look around and look at maybe picking up some two-way radios. If you pick up a little ham radio. They're not going to break the bank. This is all stuff you can get. I bought this. I believe I got that at Walmart, and I've had that I don't know how many years now. I think it was like $39. You're coming into Christmas. Something like this you probably could pick up for, $20. These little things, you wind them up and they're good to go. Everything is coming into, your Christmas season, and you're going to get some really good deals. And just pay attention. If you're out Christmas shopping, just walk through the camping section. Just walk through the electronics section. Just see what they got. Doesn't hurt. You don't have to buy it if it's not on sale, Or if you're online, I do a lot of my shopping online, you know, but if I do go to a store or something, I always try to find like the camping section or the, you know, that type of stuff and take a look and see what they have, and you might find a good deal. I always look for clearance racks. I'm a clearance shopper. I don't pay full price for anything. I buy it on clearance, you know, or reduced price and everything else. You know, I've got a lot of good deals throughout the years on all my camping equipment and everything, and I buy it when it goes on sale, and I always look for a great deal. And that's what you got to do. You can save yourself a lot of money. So, looks like we're getting down to the end of this one here. I would like to thank you very much for watching my video. This is Survival Preparedness for Beginners. And once again, if you would please hit the like button, hit the share button, click subscribe, and then click the little bell so that you get notified the next time that I put a video out. And once again, I want to reiterate that that will be on Sundays. I will be releasing my videos on Sundays. Every Sunday I will have a new video coming out on different topics of survival preparedness for beginners. You know, there's so many people out there that do the survival thing, and, you know, I mean, hardcore, you know, they've got all the top gear and everything else. I want to get out there and I want to get the word out that this is for everybody. Everybody should be able to have some type of backup system in case something happens. Don't rely on the government. Do it yourself. Be prepared. Have your family prepared. And maybe someday I might get somebody out there that says, thank you for what you did. But for now, this is Survival Preparedness for Beginners. My name is Charles. I'm enjoying doing these videos. I love it. I like bringing the messages to people and hopefully bring awareness to everyone. And if you have anything to say, click in the comments. Hey, if you want to add something that you do, or you have, or whatever, throw that in the comments. I'm looking forward to it. You know, I like to get a little communication going. You know, ideas. We're all in this boat together, and together we're going to make this thing just sail on across that water. We ain't going to sink. We got to take care of each other out here. That's what it's all about. Till next time, I'm Charles. This is Survival Preparedness for Beginners. Catch you on the flip side.